Alright, across the last month I've been working on a little validation system called Courtroom. It's mainly just for a front-end validation framework, so that if the user puts in some wrong formatted details, so not that they've put in a wrong password, but maybe they've put in a password that is too short, or they've put in an email address without an @ sign, so that it doesn't have to waste their time by sending it to the server, to have the server say that and then just send it back. Instead it can do it all in the browser. So Courtroom is a lightweight, verbose validation system written in TypeScript. It has an easy to understand syntax using the metaphor of a real-life courtroom to help simplify the procedure. There are a few examples below showing some of the different types of rules that you can apply to your defendant's properties with the Courtroom object validator. You can apply laws one at a time, such as saying that the field password must have a minimum length of 8 characters, which you do like this. So you'd create a Courtroom object somewhere up here, and then you just do c.trial password, which is the name of the property that you want to check, then .laws.minLength 8. Or you can chain them up, like saying that the field favourite day must contain the word day, but must not be Tuesday, because no one likes Tuesdays. So you could do c.trial.favourite day, .laws.contains day, .not Tuesday. So this would match anything and wouldn't provide any issues as long as it contains day and isn't Tuesday, and it will provide detailed information based on what's broken. So I've got a couple of demos up here. So minimum of 5 characters. So you could do c.trial.min5, laws min-length 5, and it's all completely real time. So if I type in hi, see it stays red, but then when and that's all completely real time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. So that's the minimum length one. So naturally I'll do the maximum length next, which is very, very similar syntax, but the law is just called max length. So we do 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5th is okay because it has a maximum of 5, but then the 6th breaks it. So now if we go down to it must contain hello. So if I do loads and loads of rubbish, nothing at all, but then as soon as I type in hello, it ticks it. It works fine, and then I can type in any rubbish in there, but if I break the hello so it doesn't contain it anymore, then it throws a validation issue. Must equal James. So if you can see it's not working at the moment. If I type in James, it works, but if I type in anything after that, it breaks. Must not equal Paolo. Fine at the moment because there's nothing in there. Paul is fine, but Paolo just doesn't work. So that will throw a validation issue. Between 5 and 10 characters, this shows about applying multiple laws to the same object. So this one has a minimum length of 5, so it will throw an issue if it's less than 5, and a maximum length of 10, so it will throw an issue if it's more than 10. So let's type in here, hello, so that's fine. Less than that, it's not okay. And then I can keep typing, and then I hit the 10, and it's not working. So what about it has to contain James, a space, and then Monger. So I can do, because it's looking for individual parts, I can do that in any order. So I can do that, and that pass is fine. I can do, that pass is fine, or that, and that pass is fine, and it looks for them all on an individual basis. So if any of you would be interested in getting involved on that, I am accepting pull requests on GitHub, if any of you want to have a play around with some TypeScript. So yeah, I can go through some of the code behind it if you want. It's all fully covered by tests in TypeScript, so you can see there the nice little 100%, which means that if I break anything in the code, it won't even let me build it because it runs the tests first, and if any of the tests have been broken by a change that I've made, it won't build, it won't let me push it up. So let's go into the source here. And so let's have a look at one of the juries. So the string.contains jury. So as you can see, they all implement the jury interface, which keeps it nice and simple. So you construct it with what it has to contain. Now, this is only ever used for strings, but because of the way JavaScript works, a string is effectively just an array of characters, so you could pass in any type. You could pass in an array and say the array has to have an integer, and this would still function fine. That's why I've left these two types as any, which means that you can pass in any type of object. If we just look for the index of the object in the array, if we can't find it, it will be -1, and so we return it as false, if not return it as true. And so all the other juries are just written like that. They all follow the same contract. So we've got the is jury here, which you can see again has exactly the same stuff, and they also return some nice details, which are used a little bit in the tests. I haven't got anything on the demo site that show that, but if I open up the tests, okay, so so this one here, we've set up a law. We've passed in, it can't be Simon, sorry, Simon.
Fine.
It has to contain A, and it can't be Bob. So when we pass in the word Simon to be judged, we receive back an issue with this detail. So you can't really see that on the demo, but it doesn't just return kind of a true or false to say, yes, this is okay, no, it's not okay. We can see that in the issue, there's a problem with the property name, which is what we've set up as here. It was the match.not validator, or jury, that was broken. The value that we tried to pass in was Simon, and then you've got some extra details, and it says prohibited, Simon. So then the front end can know exactly which issues have been broken, and it doesn't just know, it can't just tell the user, you know, there's a problem. It could be any of these things. It can tell the user exactly which one. And because we've applied multiple rules, we can also see the other issue on the property name, so we can have multiple issues per property and show them all to the user. It was the contains jury that was broken. We passed in the value Simon, but required is the value A. And there's no A in Simon, so we get that issue here. So that's all there is to it really. Just wanted a way to kind of, in future, when I work on projects, just to be able to build sites to be much quicker in terms of all the validation stuff. So yeah, if any of you are interested in helping out, github.com/JamesPMunger/Courtroom, and I'll be more than happy to have some of you put in some pull requests.
Sure. Really awesome looking library, dude. I'm really impressed. I'm definitely going to be having a little delve into this in the next few weeks. Do you think it would be possible to write a sort of extension to the test, or maybe like a testing library to try and help improve those assertions and things? I think
yeah, a lot of them kind of, I've only really been doing TDD in the last 2 months at ProProcure. Yeah. Before that I'd never done any TDD, so really at the moment I'm just chucking the tests together so that I know everything is covered and not worrying too much about how the tests are structured. But yeah, definitely, I mean, I'd love to have a chat with you and find out some ways to clean the tests up and just make them covered. So, yeah.
Awesome stuff, dude. Did you find that TypeScript really helped with the strong assertions and strong?
Yeah, having the strong typing just makes everything so much easier, and it means you don't have to rely on your tests to know if you've broken something serious. So if I try and write a new jury and I forget to implement one of the members, I don't need to wait until my tests start failing for it to see that. As soon as I try and build it, I'll get an issue saying it can't be built because the interface is implemented wrongly. So yeah, TypeScript is definitely very useful, really useful. But yeah, that's Courtroom.
Thank you.
Awesome, dude.